Hello everyone, welcome back to the Data Analysis with SPSS lecture series. In this lecture, you're going to learn about basics of statistics. So we proceed with the same file as we discussed in the last session, that is bank loan. This is a sample file. You can access the sample file from the SPSS installation files. So in the last session, we have discussed about different scales, nominal, ordinal, and scale variables. Basically, nominal, ordinal, and scale variables. These are the three types of measurements that are normally used in the SPSS data analysis. As we have discussed, nominal variable is nothing but a variable. Simply by classification, we can identify it. That is giving names to them or categories by them, identifying by name itself, right? So simply put, nominal variable is the classification, and the ordinal variable comes with in addition to the categorization. We also see that there is a orderly fashioned given the categories, that is 1 2 3 4. Then so compared to this ordinal scale, the superior scale is interval and ratio scale. So interval ratio both together in SPSS called as scale measure. So basically what is the scale measure gives us is that the superior measure over the ordinal, meaning that we can categorize and we can order them, but also we can measure the distance between the ordering, that is called interval scale. And further to improvise interval scale, because interval scale don't have absolute zero, so further require superior measure, that is called ratio scale. So ratio scale also have absolute zero in terms of measuring. So that's why interval and ratio both are comes under in SPSS as a scale measure. Right. So having understood what is meant by different scales, different measurement scales, now we will proceed with what kind of basic statistical analysis we could do with these variables. So let's start with the analysis. We start with simple descriptive statistics now. So just understand, before we do any SPSS calculation with the descriptive statistics, make sure that you use correct one for the correct variables. So frequencies. These frequencies are used only for the qualitative variable, meaning that qualitative variable means those which are nominal and ordinal scales, and we use frequencies only for the nominal and ordinal variables, whereas we use descriptives for the scale variables. And in this lecture we are going to cover these two. So let's start with the frequencies. So as I mentioned, the frequencies procedure is only meant for nominal and ordinal. So I have to use ordinal this, and any ordinal, no, only one nominal is there. So nominal and ordinal. If you click statistics, you will get more options, right? So percentile, cut points, quartiles, etc. I'm not going to deal with now, only just simply to put it, only frequency table which are meant for these calculations. So click OK. So ED stands for education, default stands for whether previously defaulted on the loan given to them or not. So overall, if you observe 850 sample, the education variable clearly says that 460 people did not complete their high school, and whereas only 5 of them have completed postgraduate degree. So simple frequency analysis, as you can understand. Under the default variable, we found that previously defaulted, yes, out of 700 there are 183 have defaulted on the loan. So this is the basic introduction about the frequencies. The same we will proceed with the descriptive statistics, that is descriptives. Now for scale variables only we have to use these descriptives. So let us see. For our understanding, just I have mentioned few. I don't want min max, I just want mean and standard deviation and skewness and kurtosis. So in one table you have got all the details that we have used sample size of 850 and the employee that is given as a name. Employee means what? Years with the current employer. So years with the current employer. On an average 8 years the person is with the current employer. And similarly the second, years at the current address. So on an average the person is staying with the current address around 8 years. Like that you can easily interpret the descriptive statistics. Next variable, income, that is household income in thousands rupees. So the output says that on an average 46,000, right? So like that every variable you can define on an average and the deviation. What is meant by deviation? To simple put it in simple terms, the deviation from the average value. That means each variable how much deviated from its average value. Meaning that let's say suppose on an average with the current employer he stays 8.5 years with a deviation of 6.7, meaning that it may be plus to this or minus to this as a low and high values. And the other two important statistics that we will discuss once we discuss about the theory, but for time being I just disclose about these in a simple wording. So let us understand skewness. Skewness means a lack of symmetry. What is meant by symmetry again? Symmetry means for any data if you have mean, median, mode, all three measures are equal, then it is called symmetry. So normally you don't expect for any data these three measures are equal. If that is so, then you don't have a skewness, meaning that they are symmetry. So skewness means no symmetry. Lack of symmetry is called skewness. So symmetrical data, if you have it, then you find there is no skewness in that. Similarly, kurtosis. Kurtosis gives you the shape of the curve once you plot the data. So kurtosis gives you the shape of the normal curve, where normal curve means symmetric curve. Any shape, any curve which is of peaked than the normal curve, it is called above the normal curve, right? So flatter than that normal curve is also called flatty-cutty curve. So based on the shape of the curve, by using the kurtosis, we can verify whether the given data is above normal or the below normal. Okay. So this is about simple understanding about the frequencies and descriptive statistics. Mind you that frequencies procedure is used with the nominal and ordinal variables like we did, and for scale variables we have to use the option descriptive statistics. Stay tuned for more videos in this video lecture series. Thank you.